Alright. Yeah. Alright. Good morning, guys. Just checking if everything went alright. So, yeah, it's Friday, and yeah, I'm gonna be doing another live drawing session here. I'm gonna be using a Croquis Cafe, which is yeah, it's a really good resource for artists. I really highly recommend you go into YouTube and check them out. So this session will be session number 181. So yeah, you're very welcome to draw along if you want to. So let's just get started. And we're gonna be starting with some 1 minute, so I'm just gonna write 1 minute up here and do a different layer, and we're jumping straight into it. Oh, let me just turn off the sound. So sometimes I forget to turn the sound off Croquis Cafe, and it's playing while I'm playing the music, and yeah, I don't notice, but of course you got double music and it sounds amazing. But yeah, we're not gonna do that today. Oh, that might be a little bit aggressive. The brush size. Alright. Actually, I should be using, I don't know, now this paper is just completely white. I think maybe I'm going to be using a lighter gray. Maybe I do that for the 2 minutes if I remember, just to change color of the paper. Started this a little bit big. Maybe scale her down a bit. Alright. This one. Okay, I have to focus on drawing a little bit smaller. It can be really hard sometimes. Just have a tendency to draw as big as I possibly can. I once had a friend who committed himself to draw teeny tiny figures onto the paper, like almost stick figures. He would still spend like the time on them. He would still spend like 10 minutes drawing one of these tiny little nicely shaded and I think that's the thing about when you draw small, you notice your proportion mistakes more. It's easier to kind of sell something that has been drawn bigger. You will also notice if you see like the thumbnail of your drawing, you see all the mistakes really fast. it's kind of when you draw small, you can kind of get the advantage of that overview a little bit as well. Actually, it could be interesting drawing teeny tiny and then scaling up the drawing. So you would get the advantage of like it's called having the overview and not making a lot of mistakes by drawing small. Then afterwards, by scaling it up too big, you would get the advantage of nobody really noticing the mistakes so much, because so yeah, must be the way of the future.
Olives had a major run. Maraschino cherries, major run. No one had a run like limes. No one.
Alright. Oh, I think I did it again. Started way too big. Gonna try and limit myself a little bit. So sometimes you manage to force yourself to start small, but then really fast you just kind of start drawing everything big, and kind of look back at the first lines that you did and they are teeny tiny, but the rest of the drawing is way out of proportions. That's all these traps you need to keep in mind. This one got a little bit messy. So I think that was the last of the 1 minutes. Now we are moving on to a few 2 minutes. Let me just right up here. And new layer. I was gonna change the color. Let me just pause this really fast and then change the color of the background. Maybe just something like this. So my plan is that this will allow me to be able to also draw with white and do a little bit of highlight. I find that that's just super useful for kind of getting the shape. So you kind of use the paper as a mid-tone, and then you put in highlights and dimming the light with the black. So, all right, a little sip of coffee before beginning. And maybe I will also just check the live stream real fast. All right, yeah, everything seems to be good. Okay, let's continue. Let's start the time again. I think could be drawing with a little bit of smaller brush or a smaller pen. That's cool. These legs got a little bit messed up. I'm just gonna jump onto the torso. Sometimes rather than fighting something and trying to fix your mistakes, you just need to jump on and then get back to it. Even though I feel like I'm doing a lot of jumping now. I'm not really... Okay, so now I got the whole model in there. I could scale it a little bit. Allow me to make the legs a little bit longer. I should also put in a little bit of shade here. Oh, I ran out of time. Okay, yeah, next one here. Got a little bit messy, but I think maybe I can clean it up with a little bit of shading, which I'm also messing up a little bit. That's alright. Let me also maybe get in some white here.
Yeah. Slave to the rhythm of victims shackled in chains. These veins long for the pleasure and pain. This rain gives me. Came for the fix, left with a wrist covered in gold. Became a mold of a stereotypical rap nigga. Poison into my system. The system is like a prison. Lovely land of the free, but this dream is a contradiction. We listen to the media and all them lies they feeding us. Try to silence us.
So yeah, that one did get a little bit messy. It happens from time to time.
Alright. Shooting at black males like targets. See, this the world we live in. To take back what's given. And think the only way to progress is pervert killing. Spilling blood on the pavement like sacrifices.
So I think I'm struggling a little bit with getting the proportions right today. It can really vary. Sometimes you just hammer them down and you find it super easy. Other times you really have to struggle to kind of get it just not looking terrible. It's funny how it varies so much. It's also sometimes you think that you are just struggling, you're really beating yourself down over how and then you go back and look at your drawings and they are really, really great, and yeah, I don't know, it's just a perception at the moment you were drawing that you just felt like nothing was really working, but and then other times you think you are doing amazing stuff, and then you go back and look at it later, and it's just, it's absolutely terrible. So I guess that's just the curse of creating stuff. Alright. I think I can also, even though the drawing is over, I'm just gonna do a little quick update to the white. Alright. So I wish they had like more hotkeys in Procreate. Like now I have to make a new layer, make the other layer hideable. I have to switch pen, switch color to black. It's a lot of steps I have to do every time. Because I mean, if I could make like one hotkey that just does all those actions, that would be the future. If you know of anything like that, please feel free to write it in the comment section. I know you can do it in other softwares. It could be a super useful feature for Procreate. I do have a keyboard for Procreate, and I tried to learn some of the hotkeys, but I found that also the keyboard was kind of getting in the way a little bit. It's kind of where I rest my hand when I'm drawing. So I'm actually not using it as much. It's also sometimes you just get so used to using a program without using hotkeys and all that, even though you could probably save a little bit of time and make your life easier. Okay. So I believe this is 5 minutes. Just pause it while I just update the time up here. Right. So I might make this a little bit longer than 5 minutes. I'm not really sure. You know what? Maybe I make one of the other poses. I thought some of these was really good. Just see. Maybe I make a 5 minutes drawing of this pose. It is a little bit hard because it's like it's so long and not very wide. I think like a lot of times sitting poses or more poses that kind of fits into the paper, like where her leg is here and her head is here and her torso is here and the foot is here or something. They're a little bit easier for longer drawings. Oh, delete my 5 minutes. Alright, but with all that said, I'm gonna start on this one. I'm gonna make the brush size a little bit smaller. I'm just gonna do this freehand, so I'm not gonna do it 5 minutes, so let me just get rid of that totally. Alright. And sip some coffee. And then I get started. So I'm kind of starting with the hip here. Just doing a line from just to kind of get the direction of the hip. I do the middle line of the body here, and drawing in the thighs here. So I'm not trying to be too precise. I'd rather kind of want to get the end of the leg, like where the foot is. I think it's really important, much more important than getting the actual shape of the thigh correct the first go. I can always go back and modify that. It's more important that I place the foot right, and maybe also kind of get the negative space right between the legs here. I think this foot here is actually maybe even a little further over like this. Alright, and then the navel is around here. I think I overdid this line here a little bit. And I draw in the shoulders, and as well I just do that as a line. I check that that this here looks correct. And I think it's not totally spot on, but it's I'm fine with it. I might have overdone the pose a tiny little bit, which I rather overshoot it than undershoot it. It's just makes it a little bit more dynamic. So she got her hand coming in here, and her other hand is out here. And then her head. This, I might just destroying it a tiny bit smaller. Alright, and then I double check the size. It's easier once you got everything down, just to kind of see if you manage to get the proportions kind of there. Didn't make the legs way too long, or the torso way too stretched, or so continuously checking yourself and continuously jumping around, not being too precious with anything at this point. Just kind of keep getting it. I think. Also, in terms of making it correct, I'm not so super worried. Like it's I rather want a dynamic drawing, which is interesting to look at, than a really precise and correct drawing. So I allow myself to make artistic choices rather than being a slave to nature, to what is in front of me. Even though, with that said, I think it's really good to put yourself aside sometimes and just draw exactly what you see, how you see it. So, but yeah, I think this challenge is not so much about that. Like the portrait, I'm not too worried that it doesn't look exactly like her. So yeah, let me put in a little bit of shading onto this. Yeah, let me get a little bit of white in here as well. So I'm just I'm drawing the highlight on top of my outline, which is fine. Normally you might want to switch layers so you don't delete your outline, but in this case I'm really fine with it. I'm not really precious. I haven't worked so much in my outline. If anything, I might make a new layer and then trace the outline to get something more precise. But I quite enjoy. You can see the foot was really messy, so by just doing highlights on top, I kind of just clean it up a little bit. Right. I might also put a little bit of background on it. It's kind of to enhance some of these shapes here. Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe I should stop this drawing soon. I mean, I could keep going. There might be some really good things I could get out of it, but yeah, I don't know. I think it's also at a pretty good state for leaving it alone. It's always hard stopping a drawing. Kind of. Yeah, I think it did get a little bit messy some places. But yeah, it's fine. Let's let me just clean this up real fast and then I leave it here. Maybe I try just to kind of fake in a little bit of highlight here. Alright. Well, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video, and yeah, you're very welcome to leave me a comment if you liked it. And I probably won't be drawing in the weekend. I will see. Otherwise, I'm gonna be back on Monday, and until then, I hope you tune in again. Of course, you're always welcome. But take care and have a lovely weekend. And yeah, that's it for me now. Bye, guys.